Bitcoin and crypto look for their safe haven and new stair step on this latest correction. Joe Biden comes out. Did he cure cancer, or is he bullish on Bitcoin? And one of our favorite altcoins just announced a massive partnership. Let's get it. The blockchain basement.
Bum, 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 bum. You ready for this? I'm ready. Welcome.
If you're gonna screw me, at least pull my hair.
Hell yeah. What you got?
They could start chopping off fingers. They're like, give me your seed phrase, but I don't know it.
Out to give the numbers out. And I was like, no, hang up the phone right now.
Or like when it dropped in 2020, was it like exciting?
400,000 to 600,000. The generational signals are now.
Level. So I don't even know if we're gonna get back below there, but if we do, that's kind of where we
Welcome. Thank you for joining us, everyone in the chat. But first, let me introduce our fantastic cast. These are the people that make Hit Network and BitBoy Crypto happen. We got Hannah Hughes. We got Adam hanging out with us. Finally, it's been forever. He's on our thumbnails. He's bringing you the fire thumbnails that you see quite often on the basement stream. And I really appreciate your work on those. You know what I mean? Today's was a nice touch. Just a little silver lining on a big cloud. Then we got Owen, the creepy man in the corner, just looking at us, feeling weird. He's been quite busy this morning. He's doing some construction work as well. So Owen's a man of many talents, as we're finding out. But you know, it's an interesting time. We've been talking about some downwards action in Bitcoin that was to come since about 31K. I kind of want to start this off by just looking at where we are. I'm obviously coming up on making a decision. Is it time for us to begin the next leg up in Bitcoin or not? This is just my personal, to explain kind of where I come from. I have bags that I have held since this, but I also, built a new bag of altcoins right in from this trench up through here, sold, took some profits. And now I'm looking for this time frame to cool down, to give me some good entry points. And I do kind of measure all of that movement off of Bitcoin. But before we get into this, everyone in the chat, Manawak, Dusto, Gravy Train, E30, Teresa Young, Music Tags, Flat Smack, Skid Marks, The Deadwood, Crypto Totoro, Kelly Boy, Corey Mark, all kinds of cool names up in here. New names, little burp there. Lost Prophet, Hannah Hughes, why are you in the chat? You're on the couch. This is unbelievable. Well, just didn't want to miss out on you guys. If you have questions about your own projects that you've been kind of holding for a long time or been paying attention to in the same regard, drop them in the chat. I'll be checking into them if something perks my interest. Dree32, welcome to OG status. A lot of OG status people flowing in. This is really cool to see. And a lot of the OGs were there when we started this channel. It was at like 17K, and people were literally wondering if Bitcoin was dead, if it was over, right? We started the basement channel. We had a lot of different opinions. There was a lot of bouncing back and forth ideas about, are we at the bottom? Is now the time to move? And at that time, I was operating just in my very simple mindset of recapturing or touching near that previous 17K to 19K all-time high that we had end of 2017 for my signal to get back into it. Obviously building beyond my long-term portfolio bags. So Bitcoin right now, let's take a look at the year. As you can see, this was the great buying opportunity right here. This was when all the pain was there. Everyone was fleeing and running for the hills. And it was funny because we had banking collapses occur and really just do well for the price of Bitcoin. The narrative of it being a more way of sovereign money, I think really kind of started to pop its head out of the trenches right after this nasty little 17K to 15K dip. Really interesting to see how the mainstream media handled Bitcoin's resilience and upward trajectory as banks were collapsing actively. So now, we are coming up on a time we'll be covering later on in the show where actually we're going to be getting into the stories, but after we go through the stories, I'm going to kind of talk about my next plan, what I'm going to do for crypto projects that I've been watching, paying attention to get back into and or move into for the first time, things that maybe I feel a little bit stronger about. But today, good news, we have the Dark Overlord himself coming out, Cup of Joe, never tasted better. Apparently he likes dark coffee. I'm playing this. Doesn't have too much sound.
I like my coffee dark.
Is he a Bitcoin maximalist now? Do you guys think? Hannah, is Joe Biden buying Bitcoin?
What is that?
This is Joe Biden's actual Twitter account.
Not real. No.
Yes, it is. This is his real Twitter account. So he posted this, and it has the laser eyes. A little bit suspect. I figured that he hated Bitcoin. I found it very weird at the end of the video to sprinkle in. This either means that he's a dark overlord, like a supervillain, like this guy.
Literally.
You know what I mean?
I like it.
Or is he a Bitcoin maxi?
It looks like the thumbnails that we make for AT.
It does.
We're discussing.
Yeah.
Has he been watching the show, you think?
Literally. Who is Satoshi? Biden administration.
Yeah. I mean, it might be DARPA, Bitcoin, it's such an interesting, just overscope conversation. Like, I started the show kind of talking about how the price action of Bitcoin handled itself while these banks were going insolvent. And, seeing these little hints, I obviously make fun of Joe a lot. Okay. I don't wish any harm, but I mean, I'm a little embarrassed that he's our leader, but I did read an executive order he put out, or not him, but his handlers I think it was the beginning of this year. It was an executive order that 2/3 of the way through, there was a lot of FUD built into it against stable coins and losing the control of being able to control the minting of new currency. That's a big focus of the Federal Reserve and the government in general. So within that report, the executive order, there was actually a section that was very specifically designed to offer a lot of financial input into Bitcoin mining companies that go out and actually capture methane gas flares. There's a large portion of that executive order that actually highlights a lot of how proof of work is going to plug into the energy grid system. And it wouldn't be surprising if Joe and all those others were in on Bitcoin and they're sitting here trying to beat it down to the ground because it's a currency that is outpacing all other currencies across the earth. There's no comparison. But the closest thing you can get is if you get in early on good AI companies or biomedical kind of stock companies. That's the only place where you even get close to the kind of gains. And the reason why I've been leaning into crypto so heavily over the last few years, I just have felt the increase in inflation was going to come, which obviously it did. We haven't hit a hyperinflationary situation, but thinking back to it, when I was growing up, I was about 18 to 25 years old. Rents in the area that I lived in Boulder were like $300 to $600 for like your section, a room of a house, right? That went up to about $2,000 to $2,200 for like just a room in Boulder. So when people say hyperinflation isn't coming or anything like that, if you compound and just think back to the last 2 decades, per se, if you were in a specific demographic that experienced that kind of increase in values, your opinion's a lot different. I feel like I did see a lot of changes happen to my generation where we were starting to pile in. You'd have some house with 10 dudes in it, 20 dudes. They're all coming together to make the $8,000 a month mortgage. So when they talk about inflation's not turning hyperinflationary, yeah, it's not in the thousands of percent, and it doesn't cost you, $100 for a loaf of bread. But, it's gotten pretty nasty over the last 2 decades, I would say. So, yeah, I mean, what do you think about this, Adam? You're in the newer generation. You're in the mix with purchasing things you made out of high school. Now you're in the working force. Like, have you seen a massive increase in those costs on your own side?
Yeah, like it's bad. Like, I'm at a spot now where I got really fortunate with the roommates that I have where I'm paying like a manageable amount. But there's like there's no shot I'm going to be able to get out and like buy a house or like even move out somewhere that's remotely more expensive. Not because I'm not making enough, but just because it's so expensive. Like,
Yeah.
it would just be terrible. And like, you can't even find anything in the area under, or at least anywhere decent under like $1,700 minimum. So,
Well, that's what I was asking you, because that's the same situation I felt I was in when I started having all my family put together, my kids were being born. Then your mind starts going like, how am I going to own a home, right? I spent probably about a decade, maybe more, just being a transient heavy metal musician and eating my, lunch, or I ate one time a day, and then, a lot of IPAs or dark beers to fill in some calories in between shows. Never really thought about how to put my life together until I, met my wife, and then we began having kids and things like that. I started thinking about how I'm going to own a house and how I'm going to get into this kind of ownership status, because that's where the real gains and generational wealth can come from. And I just wanted to highlight, because you said exactly what I had the feeling of. It's very, very difficult for people to make the up and come right now in the current system. That's why I'm so excited about crypto, because we actually get a chance to win, right? Winning is done easily. You're going to have a lot of things that you're super bullish on. You're going to this project is going to be the future of finance. This is everything. The community's there. It's everywhere. And then it's not even around the next bull run, right? Mm-hmm. So you got to be super willing and brave if you're going to be getting into cryptocurrency. But you also have to understand the underscope of what everyone else is going through anyways, right? They're going through this inflationary squeeze where they can't afford to get into basic tangible assets anymore. Life has changed in a very, very dramatic fashion. What you got, Hannah?
I was just gonna say, I was gonna agree with Adam. Like, I'm moving right now. I'm unpacking boxes and getting my room all situated. But I also have a roommate. I was lucky to find her, because like looking for something on your own, you're literally going to pay $1,700 plus for a 600 square foot studio apartment anywhere around here or Atlanta.
Right. And like, we're not even in like a super desirable area.
I know, you're not in Manhattan.
And then buying a house, interest rates, there's no upside right now. We're in a weird little bubble.
I have a great tweet about just that. Don't pull up my screen yet. Oh yeah, here we go. So this is from TJ Hit Network. Time to send it for unemployment percentages, meaning
saw that.
An increase. And this is a tweet from Jason Williams, or an exchange. Are we going to call these exchanges? I'm going to call them exchanges. Yeah. I like Peter Schiff's idea. 30-year fixed mortgages average in the U.S. are heading to 8.8%. No houses will be purchased and none will be sold. This massive market, which a lot of underlying securities are based upon within our banking sector that need them to work so they don't go insolvent, are at risk of basically coming to a standstill, a Mexican standoff, because people, the vast majority of our loans existing on the housing market right now, they're at like a 3%. They're not going to take a move and move on to an 8.8% interest rate that basically triples their payment. They're going to hold on to that house.
People just can't afford it.
Yeah, people that just can't afford it. But then you will have people that can buy cash. We're going to take advantage of that, right?
Yeah.
That's why now I'm at...
You will own nothing.
What's that?
You will own nothing and be happy.
That's the thing. This is how they're doing it. And it's this silent thief in the night that it's catching everyone off guard, because it doesn't happen, right in front of your face. It's not advertised by CNN. It's not given, spoon fed to your iPhone as like the top breaking news story in the morning like that. So it's not on the front of your face. But then you wake up 5 years later and everything has completely outpriced you. And like, for me, I'm going into a really good spot in my overall crypto investing thesis and results. And the next bull run is, as long as the internet doesn't go off, I can be bullish on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And if the internet does go off, then you got way bigger problems than that. That's the other side of my channel. And thank you for the shout outs on my Druth shirt. We do have, I'll show you the shirt. We got it at Hit Network merch, hitmerch.com. Click into this bad boy. Few of these left. They're actually selling pretty good. So make sure to pick them up if you have the need or desire to just be an absolute badass going around letting everyone know that no, you're not a species that's going to be eviscerated because of potential dangers. Yes, you hold Bitcoin, and yes, you like the Second Amendment. If you're in Europe, you can still rock it because you got, the stabby stabs out there. But, that's my overall thesis on crypto is that, I'm bullish as long as the internet's here. And I see this digital economy begin to kind of move and take over brick and mortar sales points. I mean, a lot of people are starting to prefer that Amazon delivery or that, ease of access type good system. And I think that what we're going to see over the next 10, 15 years is probably a large increase in warehouses and logistics systems. But you will see a decrease in physical brick and mortar stores that you can go to and actually purchase goods. So
the thing is, with that is like, there's no reason not to, right? Like it just is financially better to just order it.
Okay.
Like you're paying a small premium to have it sent to your house. But if you have like Amazon Prime and stuff, whatever, or you could drive out, and spend 2 hours of your day or however long
it takes
going
forever.
and doing it.
I have a comment on this.
What's that?
Because I tell people kind of often that when I'm like running low on something like toothpaste, toilet paper, or something like that, I just add it to my cart on Amazon, and like once it's kind of full or whatever, I just order it so that whenever I need those things, they're there. They're there. They show up at my door. And everybody, their response, they look at me and they're like, "You're what's wrong with this generation. Like, you're the problem." They're like, "You're the problem." And I'm like, no, I'm a business mindset, and I understand that people buy from suppliers and then like they don't do direct to consumer all the time. I like ordering on Amazon because you can weigh your options. I only buy things if it's going to be cheaper than it would for me to drive to a store and buy it at a store. Like, I compare options and make it to where it makes sense. I'm not just going to order the first option that shows up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, there's reasons why it's easier and people are preferring online orders, but
thinking about this though, I wanted to highlight, let me see if I can find it. Don't pull up my screen here. But we're finding out different problems with this, and I found a video of an Amazon delivery driver that was like, he was delivering in Arizona when it was very, very, very hot outside. Let's see. Oh yeah, here it is. Here we go. We don't need sound. This is a guy. He's out there in like, it's probably like 110 degrees. It gets very hot in Arizona all the time, and they have these folks going out in cars and basically they run them pretty hard, right? People have to work pretty hard to make all their stops in an Amazon working delivery system. And this guy basically just collapses from the heat. Like the human aspect of just making this fully autonomized, like instant gratification system, it comes with its cost, right? And, there's a good value to in-person interaction. Like when I am purchasing hard iron goods, I want to feel it. I want to hear it click. I want to know how it operates physically. And I don't really, feel like everything can be ordered now. Yeah, I do see my Amazon cart full all the time. My wife buys a lot of very specific supplements that she can only get online, which if it is the way it is, then it's the way it is. And if you need, huge bags of rice or large pallets of things delivered, then you're going straight to the supplier anyways. But seeing stuff like that, it just reminds you that there is a human cost to this, and there's something that's lost in that moment. I feel like with there's a really important Magic card. I'm really sad that BJ is not here today because the Post Malone Magic card news came out. Check this out.
we need DZ.
No, DZ, I think he's on tomorrow. Here's the moment when Post Malone bought the Magic the Gathering The One Ring card from Broke Trafton for $2.6 million.
That's insane.
Trafton said it's his dream come true. It's literally like a moment straight out of a fairy tale. Now this is just the magic code. Here, I'll mute that. Look at this. This is the stuff you get with in-person interaction. If you find a product you really like, no one's, giving you a high five and giving you a solid handshake. You can't look them in the eyes and know that you're not getting scammed over the internet. So, it has its ups and downs, but then you won't get moments like this. If everything turns automated, it's not going to happen like this. And I don't think that absolutely everything can be automated. I'm not saying that. I think that the truth about our concerns about not having the ability to purchase things in person, there's going to be a truth that is found somewhere in the middle of the situation. So I think we'll see things like this happen. I just want to make a quick note on this One Ring card. I'm super into collecting cards. I was very big into Pokemon. So
yeah, same.
Yeah. Do you have any Charizards that you can trade me? I've been looking.
Yeah, for sure.
You do?
For sure, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What are you talking VMAX or what?
Yeah.
Really?
Mhm.
What are you? Okay. Okay.
I'll bring them in. I'll bring them in. I haven't done it in a long time, but I still got them.
Well, because I've been promising my daughter for a long time we're gonna find it, right? And we just keep buying the packs. I have tons of really great VMAXs of all this other, cool new stuff. I'll sweeten that deal if you can make that happen.
I got you. I got plenty of VMAX.
Yeah. Okay. Getting me excited here. We got a lot of people that are into Pokemon and crypto overlap there. But just on the horizon. Now I'm done talking about the value of in-person interactions. That's just a little touch. I'm not saying that it needs to be everything, but you have to understand that the tools of technological advancement are a tool, just like these are tools. Right? They can be used for good or bad. It depends on if you have psychopaths at the wheel driving you off a cliff or not. That's what matters. So this tweet is from Charles Hoskinson, founder, just really integral person of ADA, Cardano, one of our faves. Just highlighting some BS here. So talking about Janet Yellen complaining about our credit degrading that we experienced yesterday. Mm-hmm. We are more than $30 trillion in debt. We're at 32, I believe, is the current number, with $1 trillion in debt created just over the last few months. So enjoy that. Have permanent deficits, doubled the money supply over the last 24 months, which we do plan on doubling very soon over conflicts with Russia and China. So that's coming. Then we have endless proxy wars, which are leading to what I just talked about and have destroyed our competitive edge with crypto and other emerging industries. And here we're trying to triple the energy cost. That means that we're shutting down our own means of energy production. We're leaning into ESG driven energy production means that don't have the ability to output what we actually need. Yet we don't understand why we're being degraded. These people are effing jokes. I'm not going to say the naughty word. I say enough naughty words as it is, so I don't need to get banned that way. But he brings up a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of stuff to unpack here. Yeah, and I would just want to go through this again. So yeah, we are 32 trillion. This spending is increasing parabolically. We have permanent deficits. We are going to double. We're going to make this doubling of money supply look like nothing after this conflict is over in the next, 8 years. I think that literally we're going to be seeing this conflict go on for that amount of time. There's some stuff building in the background with BRICS. And we have basically destroyed our competitive edge with crypto. Now, this, I think that there's a lot of things that the Pentagon or the Department of Justice have probably been working on themselves within blockchain and securing data on their own. I think that we see the imagery that kind of mocks America, and we get stuck in that mindset that, man, just everyone sucks and everyone's an idiot. That's not true. Mm-hmm. There are very intelligent, highly capable people within those organizations that are well-versed and probably even more versed in some aspects of it on data encryption, on making information move quickly. So I just wanted to highlight that. And again, this is just Yellen complaining about the downgrading of our credit rating to AA plus rather than AAA. So I'm not going to play that because I can't stand listening to her voice. And then this is exclusive. This is out of Watcher Guru. This is more talk on BRICS. Now, BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, right? They discuss using local currencies at their August summit, which is coming right up here. It looks like we went on sleep mode on the TV there, Owen. But basically, the BRICS alliance will discuss the usage of local currencies to cross-border transactions in the upcoming summit in August. The bloc of 5 nations will examine ways to strengthen their local economies by putting their native currencies to use. BRICS aims to eliminate the US dollar for global trade and start remittance for imports and exports using local tenders. Now, this may be a boring subject on the peripheral, but this means quite a bit for your future. If you live in the United States, the way of life and being at the top of the financial food chain as you know it may be coming to an end if the large movements are not had in the next 5 years because of this building. Setting trade within the bloc by ditching the US dollar will make business boom in the BRICS countries. The usage of local currencies with the BRICS nations will be faster, smoother, more cost effective. Now, just saying that just because you have some shiny new toy object to send money back and forth does not mean that your business is going to boom.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Yeah,
either.
that's a little bit of a hyperbole there, and I just wanted to call that out, bring a little bit of calmer minds or cooler heads in the situation, because just because they have this option, I mean, the U.S. will still control a large portion of world trade as it sits right now. It's going to take a lot to dethrone that, and many years. What you got?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't those countries like riddled with corruption? And
Oh yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Not just like we have it. Like you know, the U.S. has a lot of corruption too.
Absolutely.
There's like big time stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, one good situation to kind of riff off that. We have a country in Africa, I believe, that's applied for the BRICS nations, Niger, that just experienced basically a government coup, and it was overtaken. But it's absolute bedlam. It's chaos. It's civil unrest, right? In situations that are in that, countries that are in that situation don't tend to last very long, right? There's usually upheavals, overthrowings, complete restructuring of everything that they do, including finance. And the BRICS Alliance will provide other developing countries like the, country Niger and others that are applying to it, like I just mentioned, with a financial cushion to lift their economies in the coming years. Now, I do see a lot of countries kind of moving to this. If you'll notice, a lot of the talking points out of Niger and a few other African countries that have kind of kicked up a lot of dust over the past few months is that they wonder why they are so nutrient rich yet have been kept poor for so long, right? That's a question that is becoming very mainstream, right? And France is in a lot of trouble, I'll tell you that much, because they very much so don't appreciate the French regime as it appears in Niger from that suppression of their overall economy. And just a grander scope, a question like, why are we surrounded by food yet everyone's starving, right? Like, that question's beginning to be asked. And I think for that reason, you will see countries moving into the BRICS, and it's gonna get feisty. I'm telling you, when BRICS comes up, like, it's always been the overall thesis that the real moment for crypto would be a Bretton Woods 2.0 moment where World War III is done and whoever wins decides upon probably Bitcoin and other baskets of currencies like gold to back their actual fiat currency. That's been my just 10,000 foot, eagle eye view of what I think is going to happen over the next few decades.
In these countries, like, when they get really rich, I mean, it's happened before where they, come into a lot of money, they find some resources and stuff. That money does not, almost never makes it back down to the people. It just doesn't happen.
It's siphoned out.
So I don't really know if I agree with the whole like alarmist theories going on here that it's going to be really bad for everybody else. Like, it's not going to be as successful, I don't think, as people think it's going to be.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see how it's rolling out. It's coming. And it was funny that no one cared about what BRICS was like a year ago. No one would even know what I was talking about. And then I had all these pre-built, scripts and all this stuff to talk about it. And now I can finally kind of let everyone know. And it means a little bit more now that they've seen it. And all this is coming on the heels of, America's having some issues with our financial sector. Showed you a little bit of this, Adam, but this is from Genevieve Roche Decker. Credit crunch alert: rejection rate for Americans applying for credit, whether it's mortgage, new car loans, or a credit card, has increased to 21.8%. So nearly 22% of people applying for these loans are getting denied. This is the highest level since June 2018. Now, that's not too far back. It's not a huge metric. But nonetheless, borrowing money is getting tougher. But you pair that with, we didn't have the inflationary situation we had. Now the inflation is much worse than it was in 2018. So people have a larger need to borrow the money, yet they're meeting the same sort of resistance that you experienced back then before they just started printing us into oblivion. So this is an interesting thing to think about. When I see this, I'm a huge fan of buying things outright. I'm not a big fan of taking out loans. I know that there's the Kiyosaki take where debt is money and you just keep compounding debt to make more money, and then you take that money and take out more debt and you make money on top of that, and that just sounds like another problem in the future. Like, I would hope that there's a section within crypto that's able to see the forest through the trees and decide not to create another crypto human centipede passing on debt to the next sore sucker behind you. So that being said, this is really kind of concerning to see this number increase while the inflation is so much worse. And that's probably going to play into a slowdown in car sales. That's going to additionally slow down the home sales. But home sales are such an interesting double-edged sword because you have like an inventory shortage in the places that people want to live. And you have crashing values in places where people used to want to live, but now they're cooked into the overall valuations for banks. And the banks are actually becoming insolvent because of that loss of value. So it's just a sticky situation for sure. Let's hear. Oh yeah, and a little on Biden. I want to just give him another touch here real quick. This is from Disclose. Justin, Biden administration reportedly asked Facebook to alter its algorithm to favor certain news outlets over others. Newly obtained records show this. I want to see some actual action done for this. Like, I'm kind of tired of hearing that it happened and nothing is done. It's a little bit aggravating to see that we're just like, yes, it surely did happen, and we're not going to do anything about it. We're just going to talk about it in the halls of Congress and do a couple good titled live stream YouTubes so everyone thinks that something's actually going to be fixed from it. But honestly, probably nothing's going to happen from it. This is just highlighting how news organizations like Daily Wire, Tommy Lauren, I never say that. Just anyone polarizing was basically used and abused within the Facebook algorithm, shoved under the desk so that their voices couldn't be heard. And when it was going on, I really felt like it was going on, but people didn't quite believe you when you were saying that you're being shut about. You're right. You know what I mean? Like, literally, no. I've made 3 different Facebook accounts, and I had to get new phone numbers each time I did, a new email address to be able to get back in, because I had music fans I wanted to keep in contact with, but they just kept flicking me off of their wall like a fly in the sky. So it was nice to see a little bit of talk going on about this, but honestly, it's probably not going to go anywhere. Let's see what else we got here. This is just great. This is a treasury bond yield. So basically, we touched on this yesterday. I don't really feel like going through the whole thing because I can encapsulate this that basically Bill Ackman is getting on board with higher for longer train, suggesting 30-year rates could go to 5.5%. That is not even going to come close to satisfying their investment needs as inflation continues to crush the dollar. So this will again be adjusted, and you will see higher rates return for Treasury bonds. Treasury bonds are one of the tools that the Federal Reserve uses to continue the Ponzi scheme down the road by selling future debt to public and private sector. So there you go on that. Why did not a single bank think of this or build such a thing? This is from Eric Voorhees. Innovation has left banking decades ago and has become vassalized. Vassalized. Have you ever heard that word?
It's a good word.
Vassalized by the state. Crypto breaks the rules, changes the entire paradigm of money, and innovation flourishes under this lively rebellion. And this is what it's all about. Crypto is literally breaking the chains of financial controls that we've experienced as humans for as long as things have been written down. I feel like that as long as there's been a written word and a system of control, there has been this control that we experience as plebes by governments and central banking. And honestly, a government isn't a government if it's beholden to a central bank. I'll say that over and over again. But crypto does break the rules. We have these new options for, person-to-person lending. We can set up our own types of literally commerce and communication of payment systems. And it really changes the landscape for how governments are going to be able to continue to hold on to that control. And this guy, Stephen Lovecott, just highlighting how many treasuries Tether has. So $72.5 billion in treasuries. Tether's making $1 billion in excess profits per quarter off of their exposure to treasuries. Little known fact that Tether is holding more treasuries than the United Arab Emirates, Australia, Mexico, Thailand, Philippines, Spain, all of them. So that's pretty intense if you think about that. A cryptocurrency stablecoin that is literally helping countries keep their financial sector stable by holding their treasury bonds. So try to wrap your head around that. And then they sit there and come after them. It's probably a big reason why a lot of these countries outside, like United Arab Emirates, aren't going gung-ho against crypto because they see that it's helping their fiat currency hold that good value because inflation's everywhere. It happens to every fiat currency. We talk about U.S. inflation all the time because we're here. We experience it, but go look at Turkey. If you tell your problems to someone that's living in Turkey and experiencing their 99% inflation rate, they're going to laugh at you. You're like, shut up, loser. You know, that's nothing. Yeah, it's going to get much worse from here. So, you know, just keep that in mind. Very interesting to see that Tether's propping up treasury holdings for those countries. And this is just on that same subject. We talk about Japan's emergency buyback. Now, the Bank of Japan is launching $2.1 billion in emergency bond buying within 48 hours after backing away. So basically 48 hours ago, like, yeah, we're not going to do this anymore. And then 2 days later, we're doing it again. We need to do it again. Inevitable for all central banks that do QE, which is quantitative easing. A very well-known tool for continuing Ponzi schemes down the road for gold bugs and probably for most Bitcoin or crypto enthusiasts. Your crisis response is now a permanent facility, doomed to maintain stability with perpetual buying. Sovereign debt Ouroboros. And this is a great encapsulation of it. I mean, you know, people get bored to death when you talk about bonds, but it's literally how they're keeping these dinosaur systems on life support. So it's good to know where they're standing, when they're going to have to print more, how they're going to print more, and how you might be able to profit off of it, because risk assets do quite well in those situations. Now, obviously, the IRS taking note of all of our sick movements here in the crypto market, as everything in fiat is bleeding like a ice cube you're holding in your hand, melting through your fingers. So IRS is now saying that staking rewards are income. Today, the IRS issued revenue ruling 2023-44 confirming its view that consensus layer staking rewards are taxed at the FMV when the staker has dominion and control over them, i.e. the ability to sell them. That is absolutely insane to think about. The IRS is proposing something where they can charge you without you actually moving to accept those profits, like taking profits. As it's set up right now, you're not taxed unless you're taking profits into a fiat dollar, or you're making a transfer from one crypto to the other. As far as I understood, I'm not a tax expert. I use like Coin Tracker, I think it is, just on all my front end exchange bases to plug straight into the IRS. They get audited, your problem, figure it all out. It's all connected, because I don't feel like hiding everything, but it really is getting to the point. What is going on?
I'm really into this. I'm like, I need to talk to you about that, because I need.
What's that?
About like actually tracking all of the.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right. So I have a few situations. So, you know, it depends on your region, right? But for me, the easiest thing to do is, it's worth it taking profits right now in accumulation market if it's over 150% gain, because then the short-term gains tax doesn't bother me so much. I already made a good at least double up with that movement, and I got to keep in mind we're in the accumulation market. Now, on the overall taking profits for multiple cycles, right now, I mean, you're talking about, you're going to be looking at different jurisdictions and what their rulings on it are. And honestly, like the America kind of being a jerk to me about what they're planning to do with crypto taxes, because they don't like so many plebes winning so damn hard. You know, they don't like winners. So
they don't like winners.
If you're a winner, you're harder to control, right?
Yo,
like
in my traditional finance class, I just graduated from Kennesaw, but it's a senior level class. But traditional finance professors do not like crypto. Like they would see this, because I would take my laptop in the class, and like they just like. And I'm like, well, like, explain to me why. And the conversation that we would have, I would always just leave I'm like.
The real answer is control. They want control.
I don't know. I feel like the finance professors just like didn't understand it, because they would say things and I'm like, that it just isn't true.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's fine. I like that, you know, they don't understand it. I like that it's disruptive. You know, I think that plays into, yesterday we had 3 ETFs get announced for Ethereum, right? Ethereum had 3 ETFs. Actually, no, wait. Reputable institutions filed 7 distinct Ethereum ETFs out of the blue. The same night, the price went up by $3. Nobody's watching right now. Nobody's paying attention. We're in the moment where basically you have an insane opportunity to take advantage of the crashes. Like, and I know some people in the chat like, why so bearish? Like, these bearish times, they make me feel great. They make me feel fantastic, because I finally feel like buying a bunch of crypto again, right? I've seen what it does in the past. I know how to be patient and stubborn, and then just ready to send it at the right time. And these moments where we have a massive crash are super, super exciting to me because I've only learned to move forward in adversity. Like I've always had this saying, or I've heard this saying, it's been stuck in with me for a while, but if you run, you will only die tired, right? Forward face, go towards the danger, move towards it. The best defense is a good offense. And so when I see, big corrections like this, let's look at Bitcoin again. I'm going to talk about some coins I'm going to look at here. So had this move, Frankie actually did say that it was going to come back up and touch this 30 on the live stream, but then come back down. You want to get my ugly face out of the way here. Well, that's actually all right. This is what Frankie said was going to happen. Now, the thought process to follow that, the highest potential was that we go back down. And Evan Aldo was even talking about this 25, maybe even $22,000 right here at that line right there. You see that little squiggly? This little chaotic girl is just holding on pretty good here. Not really falling down too much. And obviously there's a lot of negative, like the massive Binance FUD that came out. A lot of negative news keeps trying to knock it down, but we might be building our house here. And I only originally had the idea that we needed to satisfy the 28K dip god is what I called it. And I only came up with that number because of this front end chop right here that was resistance for a moment, then acted as short-term support. Then we blasted back through it. Didn't make much of a stop at all at 28K, but for some reason I felt like 28 was still very intrinsically important because of this first shelf that it made here. Now it's looking like it's selling out. Now it's looking like it might be time to build some new backs. And for those that listen to or check in with Crucial Crypto, our Crucial Crypto newsletter for BitBoy Crypto, I had made a call on this project a while ago in, I think it was like April, or let me see here. I think it was April, yeah, but this is XDC. And this thing has been on an absolute tear. I keep reminding people all week that I called this one in the Crucial Crypto newsletter. So if you want to find out more about that, go to bitboycrypto.com. You will find it. But XDC, it's definitely in the runnings for some good moves. Smash the damn like. This is where you smash the likes because I'm giving you the dirty alpha on what's to come here. This is the 7-day. This is the monthly. So it's up by 150% on the monthly. Massive move for this coin. Here's the year. Absolutely sick gains. So congrats to everyone that could hear what I was telling you in the Crucial Crypto newsletter at the right time. Called it right about here on this slide down at the beginning of May. And it's had an absolutely fantastic time. So what I'm looking for XDC, honestly, dude, look at this thing. This is absolutely ripping into chaos zone right here. Like its initial pump before the big bull market pump took it over to right around 12 cents. It's at 7 or 8 cents right now. Definitely could still double up and hit that moon. So I am not touching this thing until it has a big bad week. This thing is absolutely moved. So with that being said, I'm looking at the other ones. I did take good profits on Internet Computer Token within the year. So we were buying heavy right here. Felt like it was time to realize some profits, do some improvements to the house in this first one, and then this chop zone here. And now I don't have any XR or ICP. I've been waiting for a good correction. Now, the big thing is, look at how this is starting to flatten out. I think it might be hitting another bottom. I think we might be getting all the pain. I don't know. I've made my thesis and my movement to basically get back in on not only ICP, but also one more that did great for me is HBAR. HBAR came out with some good news as well. I'm going to pull up this tweet for HBAR because I have it somewhere here. HBAR is, I got in at like 4 cents and sold at 7 cents. So not a massive move. I'm looking for this. Where is this thing? I don't know. I deleted it, but they hooked up. They made a partnership with Kia and Hyundai. But again, it's nothing that excites me horribly because it's all just ESG goals and emissions tracking. They're very much cooked into potential systems that could be used against you in the future. So keep that in mind. But a lot of people talk about them. It's got an unwavering community and the money's green and it turns into pew-pews for me. So this one, this first pump, move my head out of the way. I'll see if I can zoom in on this a little bit better. This thing is just so terrible sometimes. So we got in and got right out. It had this just super sick pump. This thing is looking really beat down in the overall. But I think I'm going to have to take a chance on it. This is going to be one of those risky biscuit choices here. It's right at 5 cents right now, 5.5 cents. I do expect that it's got potential to retouch that 7 cents real quick. Honestly, that could happen, or it got up to like 9 cents. But, you know, that is one that I'm going to be moving into and deciding now to hold on into the bull market to see what it is fully capable of. Because HBAR, ICP, XDC, all of these I think are great projects. Yeah, but I don't think that a great project alone has to be the moneymaker. You have to have a good community. You have to have a lot of people that are staying involved, that are always giving updates, that are always looking at what is the next thing to come for these projects. And yeah, so HBAR is going to be one of them that I'm looking. And I mean, I think that could be, there's a couple more on my list here. I want to pull up, 1 second. I'm going to pull my screen down for a sec here, Mr. Owen. Hannah, are you still going to be buying more XRP while we have this kind of moment?
No,
this calm down
my
moment?
average buy price for XRP is like 40 cents. I really want to keep it there or lower. I don't know, but I'm not buying right now. I'm waiting for it to go back down.
It's hard when it's more expensive, right?
Yeah, I'm like,
I don't feel like buying XRP. Like, I mean, I bought it at 17 cents, did everything I could a long time ago. I've held it for multiple years. I told myself it was going to be for 2 cycles. And I'm just, I've learned that just being stubbornly stuck to a time frame plan has worked for me better than creating this. All right, when it hits $5.42, that's when I'm going to go all out, right? Like, it's easier to follow time frames.
Okay, interesting, because last night I found a tweet that was talking about like investing strategies, and if people are just going to hold on to their bag, like don't marry your bag basically, but people are like talking about XRP, they're like I'm going to hold on to it and set a timeline. Like people were debating whether you should base your buy sell off of time and like or price, time or price basically. Like, should you set a price for a certain time frame, or I don't know. Interesting. You're saying time frame.
Oh yes.
Yeah, set it
I
based
would
on your
not be
time
trying
frame,
to create,
not waiting for a price.
Yeah, I mean, you can write a price
Time
down on a piece of
in the
paper
market
and try to imagine that it's coming true, and then it's in your head and it's already happened. But right, the market doesn't care about what you want, right? The market, in my opinion, cares what Bitcoin wants. Bitcoin doesn't just want, it gets a halving every 4 years. We get an election, in just coincidentally pretty much lined up with that same kind of process. So that's why I like time as kind of the deciding factor. And I just, in this thesis of rebuilding these larger altcoin bags, don't get me wrong, I'm still very much heavy in Bitcoin. I will be deploying some pretty old Ethereum to do so. And, looking at this overscope, you see a lot of fan favorites: Cardano, Solana, Tron, Litecoin. There's going to be some of these coins in this basket that you see right here that are near and dear to our hearts. They won't even be near the top 100 by the time the next bull run comes. A lot of the action I saw that really moved was in the 30s, top 50, even top 100. When you get down here, these are the ones that can really move, like Quant. Here's a great example. And a lot of people have been talking about $100 Quant is a great buy. I know Gareth Soloway, he has felt like $100 is the buy spot for Quant. Go down a little bit so you can see this. Owen, I hate you. Love you though. Let's see here.
Hello.
Got $100 just bouncing up and down. This is why he said 100, because it was all of these hit points that it comes back down to and then just survives. Now it's basically just consolidating right at $100. Probably going to have to include Quant in that overall bag that I'm going to be building, because this is where the juice is at. This is where the big gains can be had. I remember when I chose Polygon, it wasn't even, I don't even think it was even close to the top 20. I just picked it for its nice logo. I didn't know anything about it, and it was fantastic. Went great. So it's all like, but here we got Algorand. Now this is the question. Is Algorand dead? Is Algorand dead? Is this Al Ghazi? This is the lowest point it's been at. It launched massively, probably arbitraged. Look at it. Unbelievable. $3.15 originally when it launched. This is all on futures contracts and crashes back down, actually gets launched. Market figure out what the heck's going on. And then we experienced this massive pump, but now it is at 11 cents. It does have a community. This is one I'm probably going to stay away from. I'm just going to stay away from.
Yeah, like I don't have any specific reason, but for some reason, algo, I've never really looked into algo that much.
Yeah, I mean, it's got great tech. I'm not saying it doesn't have great tech.
It
but
doesn't pique my interest.
The tokenomics are kind of, they don't really know exactly what that number is going to be. That gets a little bit hard. And they were involved. Go to my 4-shot. Go to the 4-shot, Owen. I need the 4-shot. Give me the 4-shot. They were involved with someone that I just can't forgive. You got it? You got the 4-shot?
What?
That's the 4-shot.
Shot?
This new generation is so done.
You see it?
It's done for.
There is no.
I'm calling it quits on the generation of life and everything.
She's looking at me.
Yeah,
There
she's
she
looking.
is.
It's very sad, but make sure that you're paying attention to what's happening on the overscope of life. A lot of things can be discouraging when you see it moving a little bit slower than you thought it would. When these projects aren't mooning already, it can get a little bit discouraging if you believed in this project super heavily and then nothing happened. But you have to keep an open mind to new things that are going to come in. They're going to come out of nowhere, just like this heinous creature that we have a deep dive coming up on her. I took a selfie with her this morning. She's the main reason why I'm not going into Algazi anytime soon,
And
because of her connections to it. Again, another environmentally sustainable investment for the Clinton Foundation, but I don't care. Hater. Hope you end up behind bars. So with that being said, I'm going to stop before I get canceled off the internet. Thank you very much for joining us, everyone. We got Ryan Anderson, Crypto Stevo, William Carey, SCS Finance, Crimson Caravan Company. BG, what's up with the Pepe? I love the Pepe. What's that?
X.com is integrating a trading platform.
Wait a minute.
Sorry.
I have that. I'm glad you brought it up.
So quick, because that was today.
What is this? Explain what you think about this. I have it from NFT God. This is the tweet you brought up.
Alex. Yes. It's I just saw this when I went to go get my food. Twitter used to be Twitter. X now is integrating a trading platform within X, I guess. So I don't know. Stock trading platform. Almost every trading platform
Normies
on the
love
planet
stocks.
supports crypto. Tony was laughing at this. I sent this tweet to Tony. Almost every trading platform on the planet supports crypto. Is that?
No, I don't think that's true.
I don't think that's true,
No.
but X.com, I'm sure it will if
this is a
Elon is
gimme.
above it.
You gotta assume that Elon's going to be introducing crypto access on X app. It's going to be interesting if he gets yelled and slapped around like Zuck did on Facebook when he tried to release Libra. We'll see how Congress treats him, but this is probably a pretty big deal. We just don't know exactly how it's going to roll out right now, so we are going to have to watch this story a little bit closer. Don't go finding X coin on Dex Tools and FOMOing into it. I have no idea. There's a bunch of X coins out there. Stay the hell away. Don't get scammed. Figure out what the hell is going on first. Be very mindful out there, because the time to get either wrecked or rich is upon us right now. So keep your wits about you. So with that being said, again, thank you, Adam, Hannah, Owen. Unbelievable. Show me your face again. He's such a creeper. God. Look at him. Just laying back, just chilling. Unreasonable. He's got the marker on his head. Well, let's go build some stuff. Look at him. He's ready to mark it down. Thank you very much for joining us. I will be hosting tomorrow with some great guests. And until next time, goodbye.